Hey guys, what's up? Smith the Vinyl Freak is back, and I'm coming at you tonight with another video. I am going to be going through some albums that I've picked up recently and added to my collection within the past few months. Just figured this would be a fun video to do. Got a lot of good records here that I want to talk about, just kind of briefly discuss and go over the music inside of them and just talk about them. There's some recent additions and it's a lot of good stuff. So let's get into it. If you enjoy this video, subscribe to the channel, comment if you like, yeah, just all that stuff. So let's get into it. I have about 12 records here that I want to talk about. And the first one I'm going to talk about is the new Vampire Weekend record from 2024, Only God Was Above Us. This is Vampire Weekend's latest record. And this record is amazing. This was my favorite record of 2024, actually. I'm not going to talk too much about this record because I'm going to be doing a favorite albums of the decade so far video coming up pretty soon. So I don't want to give too much away, but I'll just say if you're looking for some just incredibly intricate, beautifully made art rock, art pop, indie music, check this thing out. It is just so well done. It's one of the most well executed indie rock records I have heard in years. The songs are amazing. The production is incredible. The instrumental palettes are so good. A lot of distorted guitars and reverb and saxophone, just incredible stuff, and some great pop melodies as well. I love this record. I had to pick it up when I saw it. And yeah, Vampire Weekend, Only God Was Above Us 2024. Great record. Coming in next, I have, going into the jazz realm, I have Herbie Hancock's 1964 record, Empyrean Isles, one of my favorite jazz records from the 1960s. Herbie Hancock is amazing, one of my favorite artists of all time. And this record gives off hard, like, ocean, under the sea vibes. Super, like, aquatic and just really, really an immersive album experience. Just so many cool tracks on here. Of course, Cantaloupe Island is the most famous one, which just sounds like the album cover. I think it's like a picture like underwater, like in the ocean. That's what it looks like to me, at least. It's sort of abstract, so you can't really tell, but just some really good post-bop 60s jazz. And yeah, Herbie Hancock is amazing. If you're trying to get into jazz, I highly recommend starting with him. He is a great place to start, has some really accessible songs, and the compositions on this record are incredible. So yeah, Empyrean Isles, Herbie Hancock, that is the next album that I wanted to talk about. Moving on from there, so I actually have a couple metal records here that I want to talk about. Been picking up some good metal records lately. I got two right here that I've picked up. Both incredible. Of course, the iconic, classic 1993 sludge metal essential Houdini by Melvins. Melvins are one of the weirdest metal bands to ever exist. And of course, just an incredible trio of musicians. Just really good stuff on here. Really weird. Like, if you're really trying to get into like some artsy, like experimental metal with like some just really quirky and weird sounds integrated into that sort of classic sludge metal sound, this is a great place to go. Melvins, specifically on this record, really bring in some heavy riffs, but also like add in a lot of artsy, weird, quirky elements to it that really makes it stand out on its own. Highlights on here: Hooch, Going Blind, Honey Bucket. All of these songs are just so weird, but they're really cool and they have a lot of great riffs. So yeah, amazing metal record. Got to check that thing out if you're trying to get into sludge metal. And moving on from there, I have the new Blood Incantation record from 2024. If you're looking to get into some progressive metal, space rock, some synthesizer induced progressive metal, black metal, a lot of screaming vocals on this record, which could make it kind of a hard record to get into at first. But I will say, like, the screaming vocals aren't super, like, in your face all the time. There's a lot of really good progressive instrumentation going on in this record, and pretty cool gatefold there. Blood Incantation is just one of the best metal acts around today, and this record is sick, dude. It combines like a lot of again, black metal, but also progressive metal, so adding in elements of like some Dream Theater from the 90s and also progressive rock. Like, there are some elements on this record that really harken back to like 70s Pink Floyd with synthesizers and spacey atmospheric soundscapes and some crazy just 70s style progressive electric guitar solos. Like, just such a cool record, such a cool metal record. Had to get this on vinyl because it's just such a cool and unique listen. Blood Incantation, Absolute Elsewhere, phenomenal modern metal record. And if you're looking to get into some good progressive metal, check this thing out. All right, coming in next, I have an absolute country classic that I picked up not too long ago. Had to get this on vinyl. 1975's Red-Headed Stranger by Willie Nelson. One of the rare concept records in the genre of country. If you listen to this thing from start to finish, it tells a story with, you know, the back art kind of depicting what the story is of this red-headed stranger living in the early 1900s out west. And basically he finds his wife cheating on him with a lover. He murders her and the lover and goes out and travels on his own and comes across all of these just storylines that go on throughout the record as he leaves and he flees. And he's basically just on the run, and a super cool concept for a country record. And again, with country music, you don't get many records that have like a concept throughout the album. So it's cool being able to listen to this record with that storyline. And of course, Willie Nelson is just one of the greatest country singers of all time. Absolute classic. Had to pick this one up. Willie Nelson, Red-Headed Stranger, 1975. Absolute classic and an essential country record for anyone getting into country music. All right, moving on. I'm going to talk about these next two sort of together since they're two 70s classics. Well, at least one is. I have Steely Dan's Asia from 1977 and Pink Floyd's Adam Heartmother from 1970. I'll first talk about Asia. I mean, probably the most famous yacht rock record ever made. The most famous Steely Dan record. I don't know if it's my favorite Steely Dan record. They have a lot of great albums, but it's definitely top three. This record rules. Just so many great, funky, high fidelity sounding tracks on this thing. Black Cow, Deacon Blues, Peg, which is my favorite on here, and of course Josie. I mean, I don't really have anything else to say about this record. You know it. It's classic. Steely Dan, Asia, 1977. But the next record that I want to talk about here, after I get this stupid sleeve on the record, Asia, is Adam Heartmother by Pink Floyd. This is easily, in my opinion, the most underrated Pink Floyd album. Sort of their first record where they're kind of integrating into that 70s prog stadium rock sound. But they're still sort of working out the glitches. This record is incredible, dude. Like the opening suite, Adam Heartmother, the title track, is one of the best things Pink Floyd ever did. Such a cool song. And then you get 3 tracks in the middle that are all by an individual band member. So it is basically like 3 solo tracks in the middle of the record. And then the closing track, Alan's Psychedelic Breakfast, is this weird sound collage. But I actually really like it. I think it's really cool. This record is amazing. I love Pink Floyd, of course. They're one of my favorite bands. And if you're kind of tired of listening to the classics and you haven't given this thing a shot, listen to it. Because I would argue it's not that far off from those amazing records from the mid-70s, like Wish You Were Here, The Wall, Dark Side of the Moon, Animals, you know, the classics. This record is great. And yeah, it's just a sick 70s progressive rock record. So Adam Heartmother by Pink Floyd, Asia by Steely Dan, both great records. And again, I'm a huge fan of 70s rock, so I had to shout those out. All right, coming in next, I got some hip hop here. I got 2014 Run the Jewels 2. Yeah, classic 2010s hip hop record. A lot of great tracks on here. It's a sick gatefold. Run the Jewels, super creative duo, Killer Mike and LP. This is a great record. A lot of just banging samples on this thing. I love the guest appearances with Zach De La Rocha. And of course, run them jewels fast, run them jewels fast. Just such a good song. I believe that song is Close Your Eyes. Yeah, Close Your Eyes and Count to Fuck. That's a great song. Yeah, this record rules. Pretty cool gatefold and got some cool cool sleeves here. This is the 10th anniversary edition. The original pressing actually went out of pressing a pretty long time ago. So I never thought I would really be able to get my hands on this record until I saw that they had a 10th anniversary edition coming out. And this is a great record, so I had to get it. Run the Jewels 2, classic, 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 classic. And if you're looking to get into some experimental hip-hop, alternative hip-hop from this era of the early 2010s, 2014, yeah, check it out. It's great. Coming in next, only have a few left here. I'm going to talk about these two together as well. I got 2018's Time and Place by Cara Cara Bonita and the 2024 record Here in the Pitch by Jessica Pratt. This was one of my favorite records of last year. If you're trying to get into some chamber folk, indie folk, dream pop, some really pretty ambient textures all over this record with just Jessica Pratt's amazing voice, her acoustic guitar, and that's it. It sounds like she's just singing these songs from like a dark room. And sorry about the lighting there. It's kind of weird. You can't see too well. But some amazing tracks on here. Life Is, World on a String, which is one of my favorite songs of last year. Yeah, this is just an incredible record. And give it a shot if you're looking, again, for some really dreamy, like folk pop, chamber folk. Just an incredible record. So Jessica Pratt, Here in the Pitch, one of my favorite records of 2024. And then I, of course, have, as I just mentioned, Time and Place by Cara Cara Bonita. This is a Japanese indie pop, indie rock band. Lead singer right there, I can't remember her name. But yeah, this is a really cool record. Adding elements of not just Japanese pop and indie rock, but psychedelic rock, experimental, like art pop, just a lot of really cool sounds on this record. And she has an amazing voice too. So great record, 2018, Cara Cara Bonita, Time and Place. All right, coming in next, don't have too many left. There are a few more that I want to mention that I really was excited about getting. Stevie Wonder, Talking Book, classic, 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 classic. R&B, soul, funk, released in 1972, one of Stevie's best. Of course, you have Superstition on here, which is the biggest hit. But Sunshine of My Life, Maybe Your Baby, which is some of the dirtiest funk from the 1970s that you'll ever hear. Big Brother's a really good song. I Believe When I Fall in Love, It'll Be Forever. Just so many amazing songs from Stevie on this record. And yeah, just really a huge record in his sort of early to mid 70s golden period with records like Talking Book, Songs in the Key of Life, Intervisions. Yeah, just an amazing record, and one that is definitely worth checking out if you're trying to get into the soul funk sound of the early to mid 1970s. This is an absolute essential. Talking Book, Stevie Wonder, 1972. Okay, and last but not least, I have sort of an underrated pick here. I have a folk rock record from the late 60s, Liege and Leaf by Fairport Convention. This record is sick, dude. If you are looking to get into like some late 60s folk rock, but with some like Irish tendencies in it, with some really cool storytelling, this record is certainly one you gotta check out. Just a lot of really cool like Welsh type witchy folk songs. One track I want to highlight on here that is incredible is Matty Groves, which tells this haunting romantic story between this love triangle and all of these affairs, and it's just really cool. And Sandy Denny, the lead singer, has one of my favorite voices of all time. So gotta check this record out. I saw this on vinyl. I had to get it because it is a classic in the folk rock canon. And yeah, that is my list for today. If you like this, again, give it a like, comment if you want, subscribe to the channel. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm Smith the Vinyl Freak, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.